I'm White Mountain Apache from East Fork, Arizona, and I've been in New York since '97 to pursue just my artistic dreams. I started out as a visual artist, and then I started making sounds for my installations, and then I got hooked on recording, and then that became my sculptures with sound. I do a lot of soundtracks and collaborations, installations, film. I do a lot with artists and writers, dancers. So it's great. It's a good place. And I appreciate the violin's malleability. I've been playing it since I was 7. This is my violin. It was made for me when I graduated high school. So I haven't cleaned it since. But I love it. I started improvising when I moved to New York and working with modern dancers, and then playing with ensembles and getting more into free music and underground noise, alternative ways of approaching these puppets. So I ended up getting a pickup that's built into the bridge, and then I got amplified before I knew it, and never looked back. So I play through a series of pedals here. A lot of them I've played pretty much the entire time. There's a couple new ones here and there, but I like the use of amplification because I don't know. I'm a urban Indian, I guess. I just want to bring the noise, so I just have to figure out ways to do it with lots of severity, purposefulness, lots of passion, lots of emotion. That's really me in a nutshell. So I have just like a couple delays, harmonizers, tremolo, bass pedal, octave pedal, another analog delay. This is kind of a sampler, and it has different voices on it, so you can play because you're playing a note or you play harmony. You play it regular, or you play it harmony. So one of my favorite things to do is take these pedals, but show them who's boss. This isn't my amp, but it's a really nice bass amp. I play through a Fender Princeton usually. And it has tremolo and vibrato on it too. So I also have a tremolo pedal I play for all kinds of reasons, but then I also have the built-in tremolo, which is vibrato. So I like to mess around with all kinds of, showing up who's boss. just kind of help illustrate the work that we were capturing this week. So different delays. You know, we have your natural kind of room reverb. Delay. Another delay. More delay. And then, I like the low end, so I play through bass cabinets. I like to create these sound sculptures, atmospheres, so I included an octave pedal. Maybe I'll put a delay on this reverb. tell a lot of stories, and I believe in over-rosinine. It creates so much grit, which I approve of. And on the stage too, like there's cool lights, and sometimes it smokes up and gives it like a whole new badassness. And I approve of that. So this is my sculpting tool. And this is another one. This is the Apache violin. It's made of agave stock. It's from the desert Southwest. And it's agave stock carved out of wood. Same source as the tequila. But it's carved, dried, assembled, painted, blessed. This is horsetail hair. And this is like a tuning peg, and it has 1 or 2 strings usually. I've only played them with 1 string. I'm not quite sure what I would do with 2. I have to quit my day job. So I love it. There's something that I've totally been blown away by this week is that the Apache violin is not only being recorded here in Chicago with wonderful Kate, and now it's, I believe I have to say it's probably the first time the Apache violin has been kind of spatially oriented, and I just love this this week with these 2 fine, powerful women, and so it just means a lot to me. So this is going out to what's never been done before, but it's going to keep on. So I should tune it. It's very fragile, but it survived this far. When we were recording with Kate on Wednesday and Thursday, I played this one with Sandy. I call this the regular violin, and this is the Apache. But I played this, and Kate was listening around where the sound comes from, what it's like. So we had a microphone here, and we had a microphone here. So it's very quiet, as you can tell. So recorded probably about 10 different tracks, different takes, and different songs. And then I kind of went through all the pieces and picked the best parts that I liked the most, because I wanted to be part of this this work. And I was listening, playing, and all of a sudden you hear this another. And it was like my nose. It was like, I don't know if my allergies or something. My nose. I took my Benadryl, and then also I didn't realize if I hum with it too. I heard something like So you heard it here first. So yeah, that's kind of what Wednesday and Thursday what we did together, and then Kari and I met yesterday. So we had it recorded. I picked out the best parts from the regular violin tracks and this, and then I collaged it or we collaged it together to kind of tell a story. With the spatialization, the 4-channel, my whole idea thing kind of was to kind of take the regular violin as my East Coast baby, and then this is my Southwest baby. So we got the Northeast and the Southwest. So I'm trying to use that with the spatial design for this work also, and then start out with like full on amplified, don't hold back, to like the center becomes a meeting point, and then it kind of lets out to strictly Apache violin and goes back into the mix of the two. So that's kind of how I planned it out, and please come May 18th, the opening. I don't have a title for it yet, but we're still working on it. So
title will come with time.
It will come in time, definitely.
I made a little. Yeah, this is the process. So the composing in Pro Tools was really cool. I watched some of it happen, where clips of material that Laura had like an amazing notebook spread of detailing which take and like which clip and how long, and where it should go. And so this was sort of like an amazing patchwork process. Yeah, I feel like it's really cool. When I saw it, I feel like I understood. I felt like I had some sense of flow. What's going on?
Yeah, it's strange. Like this, but this is the super nerd in me. Otherwise, I'm really cool. I didn't quite know how to do this because everything happened so fast, but it was just full of energy already. So I just kind of went through and like by the minute, like a minute 30 to a minute 42. I love this, and then a slow fade out or a hard cut off, or just so I could keep my brain organized with what it was within that little patch. Or sometimes I chose the whole piece. It works out sometimes, and then you check it off and make sure you don't forget where it is, and then collage it together. So yeah.
It was kind of incredible though the way you guys made this. Like, it has, it's like so dimensional, and there's so many different sorts of spatial illusions in the stereo collage that was made in Pro Tools. So I feel like just bringing it in here, it was just a process of picking out different textures and moving them around. There's, like, for example, the Apache violin was mic'd. It's like close mic'd, so there's like this really sort of like tactile, textural feeling when you hear it come through the speakers. When, for example, like more processed sounds are sitting like a little further out and they're more ambient. So moving, sort of creating different layering effects is like one of the things we've been working on. So what was done, and maybe I'll just show our session now. So there's a ton of stuff going on here, but I'll just talk through bits and pieces of it. So the way that we sort of went from stems, which were sent out from the Pro Tools file, everything was arranged in time, and then every track was bounced with the duration of the whole piece. So if and I feel bad, there's a lot of like automation stuff, but you can see like certain tracks are quiet for long periods of times, and it's because everything was structured and then sent to me, so like the time markers for the whole piece, it was like completely composed by the time it got here. And so from there we went into we started at the very beginning and started talking about how we wanted to arrange sound and space, and I'll play some of it back for you all. So you can see there's a lot of different versions of violin track, for example. So part of that is because we started with like the idea of placing one of the violins in each, or one violin track in each speaker, so that we have like the most present acoustic sound source with the violin.
That's the northeast.
This is northeast. That's northwest.
Southwest
and southeast.
Southeast.
And so, for example, the sound. This is here, and I'll talk about the plugins and stuff. But so this is here in our northwest speaker, and then our northeast speaker. You can hear it's coming in here. Now we had our southeast. So like thinking about, well, we were also thinking about how to structure it so that there's a real presence of the acoustic sound, and also then bringing in the noise and distortion and the pedals. So there's like a clear sound source, and then also like the ambience that the pedals has, which we did by moving the distortion. We did like 3, so I'm using a couple of different techniques, I guess, when we're talking about moving sound. One of which is like hand-drawn automation. So taking the plugin that I'm using, which is this, it's a free software Reaper. It's a DAW. Also, please ask questions if you want, because there's so much stuff going on and I want to make sure it's like intelligible in some way. Moving, pretty much I'm putting the track in write mode. So I'm writing in hand-drawn animation by moving this little puck here. And you can see those automations here. And you'll hear, for example, if I take out all of the main violin sounds and just play you the distortion that we moved around.
Yeah, we recorded, we had a mic on the amp, and then we had recorded just the out from my pedals direct, and then an overhead acoustic mic. And then, which got some of the feedback from the amp and everything. So.
And there's a lot of doubles of tracks because at certain moments we're like, oh, we want to leave the amp in just the back too. So it's like just fuzzy, awesome amp sound. And you can hear that, like, it's really nice to just solo things and hear different textures and layering. So I'll just play this little, we made 3 sweeps. And you can even watch these little dots move, which is kind of nice. It's a good little visual. And so you can see, like, in this corner where it says speakers output, it shows the mix that's going to each of the speakers. At any given moment, there's not a sound that's completely isolated in a speaker. It's all relatively, it's sort of overlapped so that even when something's in like this corner the most, it's still like proportionally, I guess, spatialized into the other speakers. Yeah.
Did you say that was a plugin, or is it like a function in Reaper if you're doing like 4-channel out?
So this is like a super awesome, the reason I like Reaper, it's not like the fanciest or coolest DAW, but it is free and it does have all those spatial audio plugins built in. All you have to do is create a track. So I'm opening the master now, and you just, in track channels you can select 4, and then you would route your hardware outs to 1 through 4. And then I would do the same thing. It's actually so more manageable than one would think, I think. Then here I choose the input channel. So if I have a mono recording, I pick 1. If I have a stereo, I pick 2, and then I can choose the speaker array. And I'm picking quadraphonic. You can also see here different views of the sound source moving. So if I played you back this little snippet, you can see it in a 3-dimensional way. And we've only been working on the X and Y axis, which is just moving things front, back, side to side. And so you can also, there's like a Z axis. So we're gonna like, it's a really nice moment where I keep thinking about the violin as like a circling bird or something. It's like super beautiful and airy and moving. And I feel like that would be a cool moment to pop up into like a little more of the upper
down.
Yeah, so that's like we've been just like trying things and experimenting with moving certain parts of the sound. But it is cool to have some things that I think have just become like kind of like, well, I put it in the PowerPoint as a like phrased it somewhat. Mapping meaning with spatial placement. I don't know why I put it like that, but I mean it. Like, it's cool. If you have like 4 violins coming out of every speaker and that returns throughout the piece, I think it's like a really nice way of creating a sort of spatial composition. Like, it's like, you know, we have sort of like an awareness or an attachment to that sound, and then placing like the Apache violin just in the southwest speaker, which we did over here. It sounds super beautiful, and also it's really distinct, like within this texture. Maybe I'll play that. And then we automated 2 channels so the Apache violin moves out and then moves back. And so there's some really nice things where you can create a sense of home in a spatial context. And it's compositional, like it's augmenting the beautiful work you've done. It's just building on that and creating a sort of, I don't know, structure for listeners. If you listened enough, I think you'd have like a, you know, an affected listening experience by that. But I also, we demoed a lot of stuff so that we could place different things in different locations.
Without being silly about it. Like I mean it like with passion. Like the end of the bow stroke is just as important as you know, contact and like that the part with the Mooger Fooger. I didn't want to be like either. You know, I wanted it to be serious and so we kind of I was like, let's do like a wave, and then instead of going back, it's like, let's just start over again, and really calmly and serenely, so it was not like silly.
Yeah, like it's like where the spatial motion is almost like counterpoint to the texture and the material. That's like it was such a nice moment too when you thought about that, because I do think in some way like when you hear a sound that's moving at a different pace than like the rhythm or the sort of built-in texture of a recording, it can like change the embodied experience of listening, I think. And there's really nice moments where that happened as well. One other cool thing that I'm kind of excited about that we tried out is you can also use oscillators, and this is in this moment right here. You can use oscillators to, where is it? Yeah, LFO.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean with that moment? That was so nice with the, here it is. You can use oscillators to send a sound around space. The oscillations are happening at a sub-aural level, so it's just a rhythmic device, I guess. So for example, here we automated the panning of this one moment in the violin where I'll just solo this. It sounds so nice, I think. You can just hear it kind of ping pong. And then if you listen to that in the whole texture. It's really nice. And there's another one ping ponging too. And I'm trying to think if I can show you, because that's something I was like, oh, that's so neat. I love like synthesizers and stuff, so I always think it's cool when you have a synthesis of like one thing is modulating another thing, and then you get to hear the effect, and it sounds so good, and it looks so good, and it's really fun. But we could also just play some parts of it and talk about what decision making looked like.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Go for it.
Maybe. Should we start at the beginning, do you think?
Here, Laura.
Oh, thank you.
Drew a picture of me violin.
Oh
my God.
That's you? Did you sign it? Thank you. What's your name?
Mateo.
Mateo. Laura. Thank you.
Welcome.
Beautiful. I'll just start us from the beginning and then we can talk a bit after like a minute of listening. I'll turn it up a bit too.
Yeah. I could.
I mean, we could still bathe.
It's only been a couple days, and it's just been like, whoa.
I know. I'm like
It's very
listening and
exciting,
trying to figure out too. I'm like, whoa, when did we do that? Or something. Because like that, I do think that crossfade's so cool though. There's one moment maybe you guys experience where this pitsing texture's coming in. I'm not gonna try and sing it, but the like. You know, the like, dun, dun, maybe I'm going to try and sing it. The dun, 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 dun. You know that one? And it's like coming, and it's swelling in from the back, and then we have like really cool, like rock star violin stuff happening in the front, and there's this cool, yeah, that was like satisfying, but I guess the sort of approach to spatializing the first bit, thinking about these waves with the distortion stuff, having the sound source be present in all four of the speakers, like the violin track without...
Yeah, we had the desk in the middle of the room yesterday, and we're just like, ooh.
Yeah, it was so cool. And like...
For hours, you're just like, you're seeing with your ears. It was just really cool.
It's crazy. It's so spatial, and I don't know if you guys feel this, but I think some of the cool stuff about this composition is like that it's constructed from a lot of really beautiful textures that then come in and out and come back and forth and together. Like, so part of it's like spatializing things so that there's a like I guess like a spatial transition as well as like a crossfade or something in the tracks. So like having sounds come together or apart from different locations. Which I feel like is so fun to do. And it's so much more fun than like if I had like, you know, one thing and it was just slowly rotating, which is also so cool. But I really love that this is such a like a patchwork dynamic sort of composition, because it means like all the spatial stuff is so like it can take on different characters. Maybe should I play some of the Apache violin moving a little?
Sure. Yeah.
There's like such a nice section there. We're all still sort of getting to know I'm still like, where is everything and what's going on? Here. Oh, sorry everyone, I muted the master. I think that is it swapped? No. I don't know. It could be swapped. Are you hearing that from this side more than that side? Because I'm like, it could be swapped. I'm unsure. But you can hear there's a sense of location really strongly in that, in this Apache violin section where, oh no, yeah. So funny. I'm like, my head's all turned around from all of
Maybe
this.
you should put the desk back here.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I gotta like reset and like go outside and walk around the block and come back in. And but there's like a really nice, you can hear that there's a counterpoint if something's super close. Like, I really love how you guys mic'd and recorded the Apache, and then it starts to move around. With the LFOs, so it's like boing, boing, boing. I think it fits so well with the texture too of like this tremolo. To like
Yeah, that's tremolo pedal and then tremolo bow.
hell yeah.
And then harmonic. So it kind of floats, floaty effect.
Feels like a good moment to. It's a beautiful transition from this like super close material, which I think sounds really nice and really different than like ambient material, like moving in space. Yeah.
I was just curious, the way you were describing performing, where you would do maybe 10 different takes and then kind of take your favorite bits of that, did that influence the spatialization process at all, where you would do live takes of how you were moving things around and then choose your favorite movements, or was it a little bit more methodical in how you were approaching it?
We did definitely do takes. Oh, yeah. Like where I moved something and then I kind of moved it too slow. Like, so, like
yeah, we were here for 5 hours, but we only got through 12 minutes.
It's because it was like a lot of like, oh, I'm gonna move this thing in this circle, and then I'll maybe move this thing in the same kind of circle, and like,
or just let it stay still.
Yeah,
just even like 2 seconds longer, and then give it a little woo, and then go back to, it's just trying things out. It's just.
There's that one moment we were trying to get the tremolo. I added a tremolo effect, and it's just like one of the only effects like external to the analog effects chain going on. And we were trying for so long to figure out how to just get it to sound a little bit more, I think, where is that? How to just get it to sound like really exacerbate the cool tremolo effect that was already happening. So, oh God, there's a lot of, I'd have to look to see exactly where, which I will find it. Let's see.
More than a glitch. It was, I don't know, it's just more expressive than a glitch. Glitchy.
Yeah. Like a little noise, a little like metal.
I know, I was trying to be like a fish jumping out of water.
Yeah, and I'm like, yes. And then we're like trying, and I'm like, still not getting it. It's like just adding an effect for one moment, which is another reason there's so many tracks. There were 16 at first, or 17. And then I doubled so much stuff, and here you can open and hide envelopes. And I've opened Pandora's box of like, where did I
ask, are you thinking in like you mentioned a bird or a fish, like are you thinking in visual images when you're doing this? Like is your imagination sparked by the sound or the other way around, or how are you thinking?
How many minutes did we record on Wednesday and Thursday, or just with the regular violin on Wednesday? It was over an hour or so, right? So. Yeah, and it was just every take I just tried something completely different, but something that's just been on my brain. I just played 2 big shows recently, and I was so inspired by the great sound of Pioneer Works, and I was just like, yeah. And so I came here, I was still high from the show, and I'm revisiting some themes from that because I've been in Brooklyn for so long too, and I just have I hear a lot of things, so it's just like, let's get this out. So to be able to record these is definitely a place. It has place, a space, a feeling that I always pull from that. So for something like this, just because Chicago is between both home and home, so that's definitely, I think it's place oriented for now. I'm still hearing new things all the time, for sure. And then I mean, you're even talking about how we can, hear here, but we can also go up and down too, which is really cool because I'm in Arizona. I'm from the mountains.
Whoa, maybe then you can do something with that.
Yeah, and I'm butterfly clan, so the butterfly joyrides. Woo! But yeah, all kinds of things for now. I think.
I definitely had visual response, or really strong visual imagery come to mind around the sounds, and then some of it we just so where we got to, we just left stuff for at the point of finish yesterday, 12 minutes or think around 12 minutes. We left stuff in, and I'm still like gonna clean up and make everything nice and stuff, but we left things so that there's like for the violin choir, which we called it, like there's a violin in each speaker and then moving around the distortion. We left that. We also left the Apache and specifically mostly this Southwest speaker, which, let me think, if I'm facing this way, it's over there. That's right. Okay.
Even in my notes here, I wrote like stuff like growing, scritchy, glowing, drinking water creature, daring, awakening, realizing, adventure game, come into the light, creature and tree, hopping around nest. I'm just like, these were just like little cues of what these pieces overall were feeling like. But it's only after I played them. But yeah.
There's so much like texture and motion in them too. Like maybe we can, like that. We played like 1 through 1 section, that collage, 2 really cool and different moments. I'm trying to think. Maybe another. We can bring in. Okay, maybe I'll just play another excerpt, and then also if anyone has any specific questions, feel free to pop in about aspects of what we talked about, or if you want to talk about like the plugin or something, you can ask me about that. Yeah.
I'm just curious, with the doubling and the way that you're moving the center of the speakers, did you need to like alter the takes a little bit so you don't have phasing issues, or is everything, does it work without any problem?
I haven't, you know what, I hadn't thought about phasing issues with, I was thinking more, yeah, I don't know if, actually that's a really interesting question. With doubling the takes, everything's twice as loud, and so I think about that, which is why I have muted a lot of like the double tracks. I muted, like for example, when they're not doing something specific. So like this one does something here, this one does something specific here with the LFO, but we're only using it really in that moment. Except I realized it was now also in here, so I'm getting that out of there. But other, yeah, I think that just being aware when the texture's doubled is what I'm thinking about. I don't know about the phasing issues. I don't think that's really, I'm just thinking about them each as like everything's aligned in time. So like if something's coming out of 4 speakers, it's going to be 4 times as present, but also it's the same material, and there's going to be like a natural phasing element that's just from spatialization, I guess. Where if I'm playing the same sound, it's kind of a huge room, so thinking about that, we're thinking about like the front as a stereo plane almost, and like the back as a stereo plane, so like 2 stereo tracks where each speaker is kind of its own location, and whether, yeah, there's like stuff moving between them, but also I'm not unsure if it's going to be super perceivable if there's like phasing stuff within that big space. I don't know, Kate, what do you think? Because I'm like,
Yeah, no, I think that's right. It was mic'd with phasing considered, and so I think that just duplicating the same. I guess that could be an issue if you're using one of the sets of mics.
oh, like splitting them or something?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that either.
I haven't.
As part of mixing. You know, if you were using one of the sets of mics here and another one there from the same take, which
yeah.
maybe you are doing, but I think you're more mixing that below the other one, and so yeah, it's a good thing to think about though.
Yeah, that is. Thank you for that.
But I'm imagining more like waves, you know, the same wave stacking on itself 4 times or something, and so we're just getting higher amplitude.
Yeah.
Well, and it was a really cool point you made too about that there might be some natural phasing, and maybe that's actually part of it. But I mean, I didn't hear anything that sounded like phasing. I just was curious if that was a factor.
Yeah.
As you did it, but yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely trying to keep, if there was like 2 mics on the Apache violin, I'm aware I don't want to like separate them out in a way that's going to like move them and phase the signal or create like, you know, some, like someone feels like they're hearing the sound like in a disjunct way because it's moving in 2 locations. So yeah, that's definitely a thought with phasing. I hadn't really considered other aspects other than I'm like, oh, whoa, I guess I'm not really moving, yeah, whenever something's moving, there's also something staying still at the same time. Because like, so in some way I hope that there's enough of a sort of like, there might be like a little bit of phasing or polyphony around like a line, like it might sound a little bit like, but also given the like, that we're going to be in a huge, beautiful conservatory space, I feel like it's going to all sort of meld. But one thing we were thinking about is, if I'm going to like swirl some sound, we don't want people to have like car sickness or something, you know, like, so trying to like have another version of the sound be stationary to create, I kept calling it like object permanence yesterday, because I like know that in like, if you go to like a spatial audio concert and there's like nothing that stays put or nothing that's regular, it just feels like sometimes too overwhelming, or like, so having object permanence could mean like the Apache just being rooted in the Southwest and returning there, or like having the violin choir be in each of the 4 speakers and having the effects move. But yeah, all of that's all cooking. So I appreciate the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions or thoughts at the moment? Okay, cool. We motor on. Maybe we can play something from like the middle section. Does that sound good? Just do it. If you're into it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Oh, this is the low stuff. The low stuff is awesome. So like the, oh yeah. Stop before the big exciting. Next comes a surprise moment for. Yeah, it's the loud stuff. But yeah.
I'm just wondering if, like, how do you consider audience position in the way that you map sound to the speakers? Like, if you want the audience to be in like a specific spot or walking around, or if you like them scattered?
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure what you think about that. I'm thinking about the spatialization, like, is in everyone will have a meaningful, like wherever you're positioned in the space, you're gonna feel motion and you're gonna feel stasis, and there's no one perfect spot unless you're like directly in the center. And like, I guess if you think about it, like if you're like, I don't know, that space is like, the function of that space is like social and lovely, and
I picture people just kind of moving around.
yeah, people are like wandering and having their peaceful moment to themselves amidst their like hurricane of life
I know, I'll
stuff.
be walking around.
Yeah, so I'm like, in some way, a moving position or like any sort of position should give you some sense of like the whole composition, I hope. So I'm thinking about that. But there's some stuff that starts in the back where I think if you're in the front, you'll be like, oh, this thing is distant, and then maybe it approaches. I really like the low stuff starting in the back and coming forward. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then that rosin bow stuff, that's also so, it's like so tactile. I don't know if you guys feel like you're being tickled or something, but I feel like I'm being tickled when I listen to it. Or like, you know, someone's like, it's like ASMR or something texturally.
There'll be, I won't be here for the rest of the spatializing. So it's going to be kind of fascinating how we're going to communicate about things, because we've already just, I think we have a good chemistry. But I mean, would it involve like a Zoom or?
No, yeah.
I don't know. I can't picture how to if you have any questions or. And because I don't have 4 speakers at home or anything, but maybe I should get some.
Oh my God, I mean, that's a cool option, and also a lot of work on. Like, we could also though figure out. My thought is like, we've come up with like some thematic placement of stuff that I feel like is pretty strong and like cohesive throughout the piece. So like, we're keeping like.
It's definitely it's an ongoing collaboration, even though I'll be back in New York or whatever. So.
Yeah, and
cool.
I'll send you also, I could do a mix down of like that has things kind of mapped in space in a panning, like in a stereo field, which is kind of weird because everything will be like side and front, but you know, it's going to be somewhat like everything's positioned in space differently, and you can actually do some cool stuff. I mean, even if you use these plugins and
you could also send like a binaural. I mean, it won't be the same, but at least you'll have a closer match in terms of the spatialization.
That's true. A binaural mix, just like a stereo mix that's really positioned for like, well, it's like more than a stereo mix. It's like a spatial audio 2-channel mix.
On your ears, so for example, famously, like the haircut can like create the feeling of having scissors or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Disclaimer: I work as a hairstylist 1 day a week.
Yeah, guys. If you have bangs too.
Can I get a little more off the sides, please?
Yeah. I'm like, Laura's on it with the bangs looks too. Just like hard to come by. But yeah.
That's a great idea.
That could be the move.
Yeah.
That very well could be the move. Yeah, because creating like a sense of. Yeah, I'm going to think about the best way to sort of do it. I mean, the cool thing about this format is that you can bounce everything and then have a 4-channel recording and then extract out 2 stereo files, which then go in the front and the back. So it's actually like such a friendly thing for spatial audio. So you could listen to the back speakers and the front speakers separately, but that's not really fun, and you should probably... but that's not going to give you a sense of things in time. But... yeah, I'm going to think about that. I'm also just like on the journey and excited to see what comes. And there's a lot left to sort of sort out. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. So, yeah. Any questions or thoughts? And, we can ask technical stuff or not. Or?
Yeah, I just have a question about your pedals.
Yeah.
First of all, like, what are the different types of delay that you're using? Because they sound, the last 2 especially that you demonstrated were so like spooky, I guess, and kind of like a little bit granular too. And then I'm also wondering if you ever switch up the order of your pedals, or if you kind of like to keep it the same. instrument or something.
I was just talking about that the other day. Yeah, I've been keeping them pretty much spot on, and I play with my feet, so I have to make them sure. I'm usually wearing heels on stage, and just I put the bass pedal way to the left on purpose for my Mooger because it's just on and off. But with the tremolo, it has to have a little more space, so I can wiggle it and wiggle this and wiggle everything. And then this is just on or off, so it's kind of practicality. But I still discover new sounds with the setup as is, but I'm gonna I have a big project coming up, but after that I'm gonna start trying new things and mixing it up. And then with the delays the first delay was all digital, so the other two were analog, and so and it has a chorus effect, so it kind of swirls it around while adding delay. And then you have different, the length or the distance you can get, and then I play with the through a lot, so I can just, or I fall over and it turns into something I totally didn't expect. And then the Mooger figure is another digital delay, and it's like the oscillator. You're kind of leading one thing leads to another. And I play with my feet again too, and I've tried it on this side. I'm not as good. So the Memory Man is the holy grail of my pedals. It's been in the shop 6 million times, but I think I know how to fix it now. But I can't stomp on it like I used to. So yeah, that's just the kind of the main difference between the delays and then of course your amp and feedback and all that too is a factor. Yeah.
Is there another question?
Did you have a question?
Was this an installation as a performance? And if it's installation, or is it going to run how's it going to be played, I guess? Yeah.
It's going to be an installation at the Lincoln Park Conservatory's Fern Room for their Florasonic series. And I think it will be up for a couple months, right?
It's like every hour?
Yeah. It's going to have like a clock start time. It's going to be awesome. It'll be set to start at every hour, and so there'll be some intermediary time where there's just silence.
Silence.
Okay.
And then for the opening, I'm going to do a performance also.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play with the piece. I don't know. To be decided.
Yeah.
Then how long is your target for the finished piece?
I think it's right now, I mean, this is the, let's see, we're at like 28 minutes. So that's a half on, half off, which is like a nice pace for day conservatory goers, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited. So are you?
Please go ahead.
Are you making this with the plants? Like, are you working out your imagery with the plants at the conservatory, or how are you?
No, I don't know how long the speakers have always been in the same space. Yeah, it's kind of a collaboration. Between those who came before me and the ongoing growth. I was thinking about just going and wandering around and just seeing like where the speakers, who they get to live by, and when I'm there, just kind of introduce myself. Yeah, it's cool.
How did you two start working together on this?
ESS.
Yeah.
ESS linked all together?
Yeah. I'm so stoked. It's awesome. And I've never done anything like this, so it's really cool to get to be a part of this process.
Yeah. I met ESS during COVID. I did an online Twitch TV vicariously through Electric Eclectics Festival up in Ontario. So that was kind of my first introduction working with ESS. I don't know if you had done other projects with them also.
I hadn't, no. I'm like doing stuff as much as I can around the city and in life. With like I'm teaching somewhat, so I'm teaching right now, and I'm finishing my schooling, and then playing synthesizers and recording stuff, and I'm one of my collaborators that I play in a duo with is doing a lot of stuff with the SS, and that's really cool. Also, one of my good friends did this project last year, Macy, and I was so stoked about that. So I've loved what everyone here does for a while, and I think it's a really cool and beautiful environment. I'm coming from a university setting where there's studios, and I'm working in the studios, and I teach in the studios, and it's but it's just a different energy, I think, when you're in an academic space, and there's so much stuff that comes with that space. It's hard to access. There's not really public facing programming or thought towards public inviting in or having really engagement outside of this department that's very insular. So it's really cool to be a part of this project and be in a studio space that's not just within the context of an academic department, which is new for me. And also so cool because I feel the best education I've gotten in music has for sure never been in school. It's always been going to see people doing stuff and going to play around and getting to just talk to people and hear how they do things, and then trying things on my own. And so it's it's so cool to be here. And ESS has been, it's an institution in Chicago that it's known for having an incredible ethos, and also the archival work that happens here. This is a whole incredible sort of multifaceted place where everything's happening, recording and mixing it, you're saying, it's every step of the process. So it's so cool to do this. I also I have made spatial audio work that's things I've written or composed, but I've never been and I've introduced it to undergrads, but I've never been a part of a process where I'm spatializing someone else's work. And that's so cool because I feel I'm I don't know, there's some cool fusion. I feel this happened where I'm living in your dreams or something, and I'm moving. Now I'm so in it, I feel, and I'm so excited to keep working on this and get to send you updates and hear it in the room and stuff. But yeah, I'm also learning a lot in this process because I'm a technician. I do technical sound work for people, and that's part of my gigging life and whatever. But and I do that work at school in a studio there. But I don't have I'm not an engineer by training, and I teach computer music, and that looks really a lot of ways, and it's all about making sound and making compositional stuff. But I've never been a spatial audio tech, and so I'm having a whole new I'm living my dreams moment with this, which is really cool. And yeah, it's so cool to get to be a part of this.
And Laura, have you ever worked with miking it you hear it? Because you're very close to it, so when you're talking about the little these are very small sounds, so have you ever put it for a binaural, for example, microphones on your ears so that we would get your perspective?
These? I've never really done that. I didn't know that I hummed and stuff when playing, and I can't imagine what I'm doing with this puppy. I was whoa, am I sneezing? So yeah, something to consider. I have played with a live mic during my sets. It's a whole nother just easy attachment, but I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. And a lot of it most of it is improvisation, but I record all my rehearsals and listen back and see what survives the test of time. So it might seem like I'm improvising, but I definitely know how to go from here to here because I've practiced it, because I think that sounds excellent. So I pull it out of the bank, and always have that to go to, and I never know when it's going to appear, but it's very it's site specific. So I've had crazy times when my whole getup gets unplugged or something, and I'm just like, acoustic, yeah! And then it just means everything to me, because I'm just like, that's where you start. You start here. You wear the violin over your heart, and it's right there. And I don't even know how much like sweat and breath is all over my violin, and the amount of rosin. I mean, I think it's petrified by now. Like all the heavy breathing and sweating. There's blood. I've cut myself. I've played with light bulbs. There's glass shards on here. I played tree branches, pine cones, corn. The harmonica is a new addition. This is what I love.
Oh yeah, there's some cool harmonica moments.
I just love it.